So this is a Fre-Line, kind of a what you might call a spin or cast or sidewinding reel, and so this one you can fish as a spinning reel, kind of where it's an under the rod, or you can fish it as a spin cast, and of course you can turn it either way in terms of right hand or left hand retrieve. If you're using it as a spinning reel, you basically grab the line like you would a regular spinning reel to hold the line for casting. If you're using it as a spin cast and it was this way, and if you were left-handed, which I'm not, you would use your thumb over the hole of the thing to hold the line while you cast. Of course, if you were right-handed, this would be flipped around and you'd hold the line with your thumb on that side, but you have to change a mechanism inside there in order to change the direction that the line is wound on there, depending on how you want to fish it. And I've got a video on servicing and working on this and how to do that, but I've got it on an old style kind of spinning rod, the kind you just clamp the reel on, and there's no drag on this. There is no anti-reverse. So if you're fighting a fish and you want drag, you basically have to, I don't know, but there's really no, you can't really wind backwards on this, because if you wind backwards, you're letting loose of the line. So I guess you just, I don't know. Yeah, I suppose you could kind of hold the reel handle a little bit or hold the line for your drag. And no anti-reverse, so you have to be on the ball when you catch a fish and not let loose of that handle. So let's just try this. This is my first time with one of these, so let's just see what's going to happen here. So I'm going to turn that back to release the line and cast. I've got a really light lure on there, so I may not have enough weight for this thing. I don't know. It's just definitely not casting very far. So I may, in order to use this really light little curly tail jig, I may have to put a little more weight on that thing. Yeah, that's a little better. Maybe it just takes some getting used to. Maybe it's more of a side cast. Yeah, I had a cold front come through, so I have no idea how good the fishing is going to be today. There's one. By God. First fish on the Fre-Line. Let's see if we can get him in. Is it a red ear? Oh no, it's bass. It's a bass. So first fish on the Fre-Line, the vintage Fre-Line by Wright McGill. I put a little bit more weight on here. It seems to help casting a little bit. It's still not, this is probably much more suitable for a heavier lure. And I can see the first action in God knows how many decades has resulted in this whole end of the thing's about ready to come off. I'm gonna have to glue that or something. That was a decent cast. It kind of works better if you use a little bit more of a side motion rather than overhead. You know, your aquatic plants, this one's kind of a neat one. I don't know if you can see that, but there's looks like little bubbles on there, little bladders. That is a carnivorous plant called bladderwort, and there's a little trigger hair on the tip of those bladders and a little door, and basically when a little micro crustacean, a little water flea or whatever, touches one of those trigger hairs, it opens that little door, vacuum sucks the thing in, and then it digests it to enhance its nutrient intake. Called bladderwort, common bladderwort, Utricularia vulgaris. There's a fish. You just can't hardly reel in fast enough to keep the tension on them. Low gear ratios usually never bother me, but this one is really low. Even with this light lure, you gotta wind pretty fast to keep it off the bottom. Oh, he just threw the hook. Confound it, trying to turn that GoPro on just in time to catch the action, and it gives him just enough slack that he popped off. Another little bass. There's a fish. Oh, boy, they just keep throwing it. They just keep throwing it. There's a, oh, boy, I just can't hook them. It must be this little, it must just be this whippy rod. So fishing with the Fre-Line 10BC, Model 10BC by Wright McGill, not too bad. You know, they're fun to fish with, you know, because of their age and the history and that kind of thing. But not something that I would fish with if I was casting lures a lot, mainly because it's really slow retrieve rate. So, you know, it would be fine for casting plastic worms or something that you work really slow, maybe jigs or something like that, but not for spinners or curly tail jigs or anything like that. But or of course certainly bobber fishing would be great for. So had a lot of fun with that, but again, not something that I would want to be casting a bunch of times for lures that you need to retrieve. Even moderately slow retrieves was a little tough. The lure was running into the bottom all the time, even winding pretty fast, but still had a lot of fun with it. And I'd probably fish it again, for bobber fishing or some other thing like plastic worms or something like that.